Do legends tell us about the past? Are they meant to frighten us? Meant to take advantage of what we fear? Or do some hold some trace of truth? Passed down so we never forget. We question, we search, we discover. We discover portals to the past.
Whoa.
What?
My shit just went off.
What?
Mel's going off.
Mel's going off. Capture it. Kill that. Kill that. Something's disturbing the electric field.
I have
Was it you?
No, I wasn't near it.
I moved and it started going off.
Do that again.
Don't go near him.
Yeah, don't go near me. Whatever just did that, do it again. Shh, please.
Is there someone here? You can come up to us.
Did you guys whisper? No.
Mark.
Hello, and welcome to my Paranormal Soapbox. I'm your host and your friendly neighborhood paranormal researcher, Justin Brown. We're here on episode 6 with another touchy topic for today. We're going to discuss drama in the parafield. And wouldn't you know, a lot of people have a lot to say about it all the time. I see all kinds of posts on Facebook, Twitter, social media, YouTube, you name it. I see people just going nuts with the drama, with the arguments, with the ego trips, with, the hate campaigns. Everybody's got a problem with everybody, it seems like, nowadays. And I'm not going to try to add to it in this video. I'm just going to try to talk about the pathology, why people do it, from my point of view, what we could do to kind of cut back on it, and maybe try to add a little bit more what's the phrase, para-unity, instead of adding to the drama. But before we go into it, I got Jessica Bias joining me tonight. We'll go on over to the guest screen and say hi to Jessica real quick. What's up, Jess?
Hi, Justin. How are you?
I'm fine. I have my big thing of tea here, and I'm going to annoy you every time I take a sip, and probably all the audience members. But I apologize in advance. Jessica is going to be monitoring the comments for questions. She is very, very nice for doing that. It is very distracting me to keep an eye on the comments. So if you have questions, she's going to jot them down, and here when I, get through with talking, a certain piece, I'm going to take a break and take, questions, and she's going to refer to your questions and read them to me, and I'm going to answer them periodically throughout the show. And if you guys don't have any questions for me, I'm going to ask Jess annoying questions that she don't want to answer live on the air. Is that fair?
Oh, no.
All right. Well, Jess, thank you very much for doing that, and I will get back to you momentarily, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Paradrama, all right? We have it in the group groups deal with it with their group members. They deal with it internally, and then they deal with it externally, okay? Never mind the skeptics. We are arguing amongst ourselves, okay? All the people out there spending hundreds and thousands of dollars trying to progress in the parafield seem like that they want to take down, target, and destroy others in the field for various reasons, okay? I don't want to pretend like I know what all the reasons are. I don't like to generalize certain topics like this, but you're going to find me generalizing some of it to try to understand it. I'm going to try to break it down. I'm going to try to understand the pathology. I have no idea what I'm going to say about the subject, so I'm just going to say it right off of the top of my head, which is something that I'm kind of good at, I think. I don't want to try to plan these things, because if I do, it doesn't feel genuine to me. So everybody knows this, right? Everybody, they'll log on to Facebook, they'll log on to Twitter, they'll read YouTube comments, they'll read forums, okay? And they see paradrama. They see something going on internally in their group, and they're putting it out there. They'll see, people that are bugged by other people in the paranormal field about this, that, and the other. And it's never just one thing. It's always something. And the very first time I detected it was when someone is starting to get success, when someone's starting to get noticed. They got a book out or they got a show out and they're just starting to get noticed. If they piss someone off or rub someone a little bit the wrong way, there is going to be people out there trying to rake in dirt on them to bring them down some way or another. So they'll dig into your past, they'll stalk you, they'll watch all of your videos, watch every single post you put up, and then they'll dig into your past, try to find you lying about something, or try to find something, the skeletons in the closet is what they're going to try to find. And once they find it, that's what they're going to use against you, okay? That's not just in the parafield. That's in politics. That's in everyday life, throughout the whole spectrum of media, everywhere. And there's no short of it in the parafield. So I think we all understand in general why it exists, but let's reflect on what it makes you look like when people are observing you, especially if you're someone who tries to claim that you are a supporter and of other paranormal groups and of paranormal work in general, okay? And then you have the people who try to post things to say, hey, I'm not all about drama, I'm not trying to cause attention to draw to myself, but they end up doing it anyway. And it's not, a lot of the times it's not on purpose. A lot of times they're just frustrated as hell, they're angry, and they're trying to put their stuff out there. Maybe they got alienated from their group. Maybe, they got kicked out of their group, or they left their group because of whatever reason, and they feel like they're on this island of despair and hatred and anger, and they'll go on social media. And there is some negative consequences to that, unfortunately. Me personally, this is just my opinion, but when I see people out there posting negative things, showing people how angry and frustrated and vulnerable you are, that doesn't come across well. Now, your supporters are going to stick by you. There's a lot of people that have followers and supporters that they're there to support you through everything. So the people making these posts and making these statements on social media and other platforms, they know this. So they're looking for that recognition, that support and feedback from those types. But then there's other people out there looking at it and say, maybe they shouldn't put that out there. Maybe that'll just cause things to be worse, or maybe make you look a little bit vulnerable or a little bit immature or something negative. Okay, there's always some kind of angle that other people can perceive you at. But the general idea I'm trying to get across is it's really not going to help your situation other than getting that feedback from your supporters. The other people that you have the problem with, they're going to get even more pissed if they see it, even if you block them or try to make it, to where they can't see it. Eventually it's going to get to them, and it's just going to cause more problems. But what I really want to address before we get to any questions and comments is, what in the hell is wrong with people just going outright attacking people? And where I see it the most outside of your normal drama with groups and with people that work together and have falling out, the the ITC community I think is the worst that I've seen it in. And there's so much competition and there's so much ego and there's so much, confidence in people's work out there that I think it compromises them sometimes. The competition out there for who has the best apps and who's right and who's wrong can get really, really nasty. And I just don't understand where they think it's going to take them. I want to know what you guys think. Do you like seeing para drama? Do you like seeing all this war being drummed up and put on social media and see the interactions? Do you think that's good for the paranormal community and the paranormal research moving forward? I just think it kind of makes it look bad. I don't see how it can be constructive. I don't see how it looks healthy. And when you see people are falling out in their family or with their friends and they're putting it on social media, that looks bad. I mean, to me, I would try to keep it quiet. I would try to work it out privately with the people involved. It's very rare that you see me put anything like that on social media, especially if it's private, like my family life and stuff like that. That's definitely a no-no. That's disrespectful, I think. I mean, if you had any amount of respect for the people you work with within your affiliates or outside of, and everybody else in the paranormal field, if you have any respect for people at all, try not to make yourself look like you're compromised. If you want to look credible, if you want to look like you are seasoned, and if you understand the pathology behind trauma, don't do that, because I think that, people who don't do that have either learned from experience or identify that when they see it and they perceive others doing it, that it just turns out bad. So I'm interested if there's any other comments that Jess has got so far. So we'll bring her back over. Jess, has there been anything interesting in the comments yet?
Sure. Christy said it's all about the power. Bill Davis said he's been seeing some lately. Josh says it's stupid. Bill Davis says it embarrasses me, really. Chrissy also said their life is sucking, so they want to hurt others like they are. These type don't care.
Right. Yeah.
So it does look like, everybody's has ran across drama.
Okay. Real quick before I go back to talking again, Jess, what do you think about? I mean, I know you don't follow all the paradrama in social media. Maybe you do, but I'm guessing you don't. What do you think? Just the drama you see on social media, with people in general. What does it mean to you when you see them putting it out there?
I don't think it should be put out there, especially with Facebook. People take how people word things out of context and then they roll with it. I think everybody has their opinions and that's great, but I don't think that they should take one thing and just go. And I mean, I just think if you have a problem, you need to go to that person and not put it on blast.
Mm-hmm. That's really good advice. Thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over and do a quick recap for you guys. If you are just tuning in, I seen Brad Streets just tuned in. Topic for today's Paranormal Soapbox is drama in the paranormal field, internally within groups, in the ITC field, just in general in the paranormal field. And we can even discuss drama outside of the paranormal because it applies to. The pathology is the same. The reason why people do it is the same, I believe. So if you're just now joining and if you have any comments, Jess is monitoring the comments for questions and remarks that, are good to talk about during the show. But if you start to be nasty and you start to be mean in the comments, Missy Vastine rather is going to nip that in the bud, so please don't do that. But I want to know what you guys think. If you're just tuning in, if you're dealing with drama, if you've ever dealt with drama, how have you dealt with it? What is your take on what you see and how you feel about it, but how I feel about it is it just it doesn't seem like it does anything. I mean, yeah, you can piss people off. You can, start a hate campaign against somebody that you don't like, but I don't understand. I think there's very small instances where you put stuff out there to kind of let people know that maybe that person's bad, or this place don't go to, it's bad, or this methodology or this tool that you use is bad. I understand that, but as long as you do it respectfully in a tasteful way, I think that's fine. um but there's a fine line, of course. I think that paradrama is, especially when it involves two figures that that respect each other before, that are respected by this big huge community in the paranormal, they get into an argument and all of a sudden they block each other and now they're not friends. I hate seeing that. I absolutely hate it, because it shouldn't have happened. You should be able to work it out. And like Jess said, they'll take things out of context. They'll read something and they'll be like, oh, that guy is a fucking asshole for saying that. Fuck him. That's what they'll think. And that's not really what he meant, but they just took it that way because they're just reading something on the internet. And then that's the seed, and that starts the whole screwed up, snowball effect, to where it ends in, ending a relationship or blocking someone, or just flat out not wanting to continue supporting that person. That is what I'm really afraid of. All the people out there that's done 5, 10, 15, 20 years or more of work in the paranormal field, whether it's actual paranormal research or how they've branded themselves and they branded their work, it should not conflict with others when it comes to like a peer review of evidence that they put up, or maybe they're involved with someone else's drama and that drama snowballed in somebody else getting angry because of a comment they made. I mean, the best way I've seen to deal with things is to private message that person, email, call them if it's possible, text them if it's possible, and work it out that way. Okay, even if they put you on blast, maybe they went on social media. I've been shit talked on public radio, internet radio before. Okay, I could have been angry and went on my social networks and talked crap about the person had done that, but that doesn't make me any better than the person doing it. So obviously I didn't do that. But when you end a relationship with someone that you respected, that you've worked with, or maybe someone who is similar to you, you have a following and you have a brand, whatever it is, if you're a filmmaker or if you're a blogger or whatever it is, it doesn't look good, and I think it damages the paranormal community. I think it tears it down, it strips it of its integrity. All this effort that we make to try to make it look credible to the scientific field and to skeptics and all the other people that we want it to look credible to, it just defeats that purpose. What do you guys think? I'm gonna take it over back to Jessica, and we'll see if we have any more comments. Any more comments about Jessica, or
Oh,
questions?
absolutely.
Okay.
Michelle says, I think it makes you look very bad to put drama on social media. Bill Davis said, I think everyone has vulnerabilities, and if shows there's if oh my goodness, it shows theirs, they will show yours.
Okay.
Brad Street says, dealing with it now, actually went to a location and found out it was being cleansed weekly. And because he wrote a bad review and he called the owner out on private message, him and his team is getting slammed for it. He's not going to mention, obviously, any names or locations. Michelle also said, we're supposed to be all in this field for the same reason. And I mean, that's something like I was a part of a group about a year ago or two. Different, obviously, concept and stuff, but it was always, we were always looking for seeking the same, cure, whatever. And it was whoever's name was in the bright flashing lights. And if you, became ahead on anything, you would get backlash from everybody. And I mean, and that's not right, But I mean, I'm sure everybody wants to be out there and stuff, but I think everybody's looking for the same thing. So,
Yeah, it's real quick. Stay on here, Jess. Don't mute yourself because I'm going to direct this comment to you. Now, do you think that okay, you have a concept like what you're talking about is the MS community? Okay,
correct.
there's a lot of people who struggle with the disease, so there is a huge platform in which people are drawn in to talk about it, and there's a forum,
Yes.
either radio or groups or what have you, and now you have a sea of people looking at a singularity, and it could be on a host to a radio show, it could be on an
Hmm.
administrator, what have you. Now that puts a spotlight there, so that's going to cause a problem with people who want that and don't have that. It's going to cause a
Right.
problem with people who want that and want to take it from you, and it stops being about MS altogether.
Exactly. And that's, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I stepped down from the position that I did have. Um, I was in charge of, multiple admins. I was an admin on multiple MS groups. And once I started to be on the radio show, I mean, obviously there's thousands of MS, Facebook pages and stuff. And once I became a part of a radio show, I was getting the nasty private messages. I actually got threatened a few times from people with MS, just because they were trying to seek the same exact thing, which, and it's like we're all here for awareness and, to put it out there. So, I mean, and I'm sure, I mean, with the paranormal, it goes, it would be the same thing. And I understand the concept on that, but it's just like if everybody's looking for the same thing, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, and everybody has their own opinions of how things work out and stuff like that. And I completely understand that too. But there's a time, you just don't post that stuff because it actually shows you how ignorant you are if you're really gonna, down and create drama over something, everybody's looking for.
I agree 100%. And it's it's sad, but I'm going to talk about some alternative things that you can do. Uh, real quick, we can do this. We can say, hey, Facebook has a live feature. You can go on Facebook and say, hey, this is what I think about it, but I'm not going to call out any names. I'm not going to point a finger at anybody, but we can turn it into a topic, and I can tell you what I think about it 24, 48 hours, maybe even a week or a month after I was angry about something, or because I've obviously been angry about paradrama, but I'm not angry about anything in particular right now, and I wouldn't speak on this type of forum or platform if I was, because it would be obvious I would be all mad, and it would be obvious that I was. So maybe a good advice would be wait at least 24 hours or 48 hours after something happened to go put something out there. One thing that I like, there's a rule with my daughter's softball organization, is if you have a disagreement, or you don't agree with a coach, something they said, something they did, they ask you to wait 24 hours to call them about it, because you get very upset, you're very passionate about your kid and what happens, so on and so forth, but they want you to have a cooling off period. And I think that applies throughout the board. I think you should cool off, stop being so angry and compromise in the moment, and then wait and think about the best way to address it, whether it be privately, publicly. If you have to call a lawyer, maybe you should in some circumstances. Maybe. Okay, Missy, that's fine. Maybe you should just step back and just look at, just step back, okay? I mean, this applies to so many things. Sometimes when I'm editing a video, I'll get so wrapped up in it, and I'm so passionate, and I want to get it done, and I'm so stressed out, but then I'll just back away from it. Maybe I overdid this, and maybe there's a photo I was processing, and I put too much saturation in, and there's too much contrast, so I'll just back away from my computer, go have a sandwich, go hang out with the kids or the wife for a little while, and then I'll come back and I'll look at it. And I'll be like, yeah, that does look like shit. I'll just start backing up all the knobs, start, undoing all this and just, taking it easy because I can get stressed out very, very easy. Like I'm surprised I haven't had a heart attack, to be honest. But I make it a rule to not go on social media and post any type of drama. And I urge you guys, I challenge you guys to do this. Speak out. I know there's a lot of people that already speak out against drama in the paranormal field, but try to do it in a way that's catchy. Try to do it in a way that people will say, yeah, let's start a hashtag or let's start some type of campaign where people start actually changing instead of just making a post and it's a good soundbite. I want it to be past a good soundbite and actually start, a campaign that's actually against it. So when people see you starting to post things, I'm no longer going to accept people that, saturate themselves in trauma all the time, who put themselves out there in a way that doesn't do any good. I want to, unfriend those people. I want to back away from that, and I just want to minimize my own realm of what I can control and just work with that, and maybe start a vlog. This is all this is. Do a vlog, kind of, release a little bit of stress or anxiety, or let your thoughts flow out onto a vlog like this. So you don't have to do a live format like this. You can write if you want to instead of doing the live video. You can do all kinds of things. Okay, you can start a forum, on a website about the topic and talk to people. Okay, I got this going on. This is how I feel about it. I wanted to do this and that. What do you think? And get opinions from other people. Now you're going to get trolls that are going to be like, they're going to be assholes, but then you'll get people who generally want to help you and give you constructive feedback on it. So those are good, good tips I could give you. We'll go back to Jessica real quick, see if she has any other comments or questions. Anything?
Yeah, Christy, she said that's the problem. She thinks a lot of people won't say anything face to face. They like hiding behind the screen and just start typing what they think so much easier and sometimes childish, if you know what she means. And I agree 100%.
Yep, it's you can get away with a lot of crap. Just
Right.
keyboard worrying it up like, I hate you, you're a piece of crap. It's like that meme, you see the cat beating the crap out of the keyboard. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
That's the perfect meme for that. And that's what people do a lot. They could just, there's no consequence to it. There's really, I mean, as far as saying it face to face in that term. Anything else that you saw?
Michelle just said she 100% agreed with you. That's about it right now.
Okay, I'm just going to check back to you because I'm not even looking at it and I love it.
Cheryl did say, great idea. It's hard to find good exchanges of information and ideas.
Right. Just post memes instead, Christy said. That's better than maybe raging. I've been involved in some really cool meme wars before though, so that's entertaining to the readers. I don't know. That's funny. All right, thanks, Jess. I'll come back to you here in a few.
Sure.
All right, let's think about another question I can ask you guys. Is there any particular instance that you can remember that you reacted in a way that you maybe regretted or wish you didn't react to cause maybe someone leaving your group or your circle of friends? Okay, because let's face it, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I am the leader of a paranormal research group, and there's only one original member to my group right now, which is Diana Wolf, and her ex-husband was involved in the group, and she got divorced with him, and I knew that was going to be a huge problem, and hopefully I dealt with that in a way that was fair to him and fair to her, and that's one particular thing that you could relate to. But there's been other people that's left my group because maybe they didn't agree with me about a certain subject or how I handled myself or so on and so forth. And maybe I wasn't, sensitive enough or patient enough to understand where they were coming from. And whatever reason why that didn't happen, in hindsight, it's almost like, you know, why, what compromised my patience and my understanding for what might be the root cause of this person having a problem? Is it just straightforward? Or they just don't like me? Or is it there a reason and it's kind of manifesting in a different way than what it really is? So that's another thing I'll throw out there. It can get complex, especially with your internal structure of your groups and your communities. If you're trying to maintain the integrity of these communities and your groups, uh, a tip would be to be more patient than you think you should be. Try to find a point where you think, okay, this is where I'm stern about where I draw the line. Then maybe make that line a little gray in the negative direction, because I'm speaking from experience here. When you do that, you're leaving a little bit of leadway for maybe mistakes that you may make, because you're not perfect. No one is. You may be humbling yourself to things that you have no idea about that caused these issues. If someone, was compromised by, sickness in the family or death in the family, or maybe they're just having a general rough time in life and it's manifesting into anger and frustration, and it's kind of coming your way because you're the leader and you're the target of it, and you're just an easy target for it. Maybe you should be more patient and more accepting of people's shortcomings. Okay, if you're in that position, I'm not saying you should put yourself in that position if you're some average Joe and you're being attacked online, from somebody. Maybe that won't be the best thing, but if you're in a leadership position, maybe that might be something to consider. So a little bit more patience, a little bit more understanding. Be imaginative about why this person could be acting in this way. Okay, maybe if someone's super defensive, if they seen someone called them out on, okay, that's not a ghost, that's not your Uncle Bob, that's a dust orb. Okay, the people who say that are just really frustrated that people won't look at alternative reasons for that anomaly on the video. So they're really frustrated. They didn't take the extra, effort to deliver in a more cordial, easy way. So now you have received this harsh feedback, and now you have the option to whether snap back in the way they snap to you, or take a step back and say, wait, look, this guy, he might mean well, he may be right. Let's not snap back the way he snapped at me. Maybe taking that position will eliminate either a problem in the first place with that person directly, and other people may see you do that and be like, they're cool under pressure. When they're under fire, they don't freak out, and that might be a sign of their intelligence. And that people may have good things to say about you when they observe you in that scenario. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that when you put your stuff out there on social media or some type of community for peer review, do you think that there's skeptics out there that are just assholes, and that's all they want to do is make you look like a liar, or that you're trying to commit some kind of fraud? Or do the other people that are doing the same work you're doing, do you think that they're just slamming your stuff because they think only their stuff is right, or they only want people to follow them? I mean, what do you guys think about the reason and the pathology behind things that you observed? We'll go back to Jess real quick just to see if she's got anything else. I don't want to miss anything and make her busy. Anything else, Jess?
Yes, Miles commented.
Okay.
He says, excuse me, I think over time, people and things change. You can't blame yourself. Sometimes there needs to be change. Some people need to do their own thing. 2 years ago, I left a group I started because I wanted to go in a different direction.
Okay, so that was his way of just backing out and just instead of causing a big, ruckus and a big issue about it on social media or causing a lot of drama, he just stepped away and just started doing his own thing.
Right, because he wanted to, change in his direction that he was going in.
Right. That's good advice.
Absolutely.
I'm waiting for other people to comment. Jess, what about you? Can you think of a specific instance where someone was coming down on you and you reacted in a way that you normally wouldn't have because you're trying to change the way either people perceive you react to things or you're trying to change the way you react to things because the ways you reacted to it before didn't turn out so well?
Mm. Is this one of the questions that I don't really want to answer?
You can plead the fifth or you can pass, but I was curious.
I try to be, I mean, there's always drama, and I try to stay out of it. I try to not be involved with it, and so and that has been a big change for me because I'm pretty stubborn of who I go. I mean, now this is about my family. I don't know if everybody wants to hear stuff about me, but I mean, of course, there's always with a big family, you're always, there's always drama, there's always arguments and stuff like that. And I try to step back, but deep down, it gets to me. It eats at me. It eats at me. And I mean, back, 10, 15, 20 years ago, oh, I would be all up in it. I mean, I would be on there. I would be, but now I just sit back. If it doesn't revolve myself, I don't get involved. So I mean, that's one thing that I had to change as myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I've been married to Christy for 11 years, and we've been together for longer than that because we were together a couple years before we got married. But I find myself in a behavior rut to where after we get into a fight and we exchange nasty words to each other, it's like a minute later, 2 minutes later, maybe even 3 minutes later, I'm like, why do I keep doing that?
Yeah.
Why do I
Well, you
keep...
regret it. Right.
But you ask yourself, why don't I just change? It's hard. It's
It
hard
is.
to change. It's like, especially if you're stubborn and you think you're right all the time. It's just hard to change.
Right.
And that can
Oh.
relate to what we're talking about. If you're constantly bombarded with the same stuff that piss you off or irritate you, you're stuck in a behavioral vicious cycle of how you respond to it. It's just like you're robotic. This is how you respond to it all the time. You don't intend to change. Even if you try to change, you don't find yourself doing the things that you set out to do because of that reason.
Right.
So it's interesting, and I'll let you continue to monitor the comments, and we'll keep going on this.
Bill Davis says,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Bill says, LOL, he doesn't listen to anyone.
I read that.
And Michelle says she does the same thing as Miles.
Yeah, that's definitely a tactic. I mean, if you just kind of like put yourself in isolation and don't listen to anybody, you don't have anything to respond to.
Right. That might work.
It might. But I wouldn't promote that. I mean, it's good to talk to people, find others that share your passion and your interests and connect. I mean, I don't mean to get all philosophical on you guys, but one of the reasons I think we exist is to connect with other people. If you think of it, if you could possibly imagine what it's like before there were people, there's just everything was one thing. Before the Big Bang, everything was just this one singular thing, okay? And if you think about it, that's very lonely and very crazy to think about. You have nothing there to look at. You don't have anybody to talk to, fall in love with, hate, connect. You don't have anything. So I believe why everything fractured into existence the way it is now we can connect. And in order to love, there has to be hate. In order to die, there has to be life. So there's duality, okay? But, maybe, stepping away from social media, if you find yourself getting mixed up into it, could be a good option. It's definitely just to cool off. But getting yourself in a right frame of mind and trying to build on your own, how should we say this? Trying to make yourself better, trying to change your behavior patterns, like we were talking about before. That is something I would promote. Okay. There's a lot of posts I've seen out there. I know Chris Maggard, and if anybody follows this Chris Maggard, I see him posting a lot on other people's posts. He posts this a lot. He sees all the drama and he's tired of it. He's, getting, not to say he's old, but he's not eating spring chicken anymore. He got some really nice Cajun seasoning on there. He's got a lot of good things to say. He's learned, and he's got a lot of good stuff to put out there for you guys. So I urge you to go over to Chris Maggard on Facebook and follow him, because there's a lot of things that he says that I like. Stop the bullshit with the paradrama. Stop attacking people. Stop doing that, okay? And I like that. I like that people are trying to nip it in the butt, because they've known firsthand. They've been caught up into it, themselves, and they want to change. And I challenge everybody out there that gets mixed up into it just to change. Be somebody that that people can trust. Be somebody that people is going to look up to. Don't try to put yourself out there so much, because if you get caught in some bullshit, or someone sees you being two-faced, or going one way or the other, they're not going to look at you as somebody to look up to. They're not going to follow you and respect you in the way that you want them to. So I just think that it's important. This topic is important. People should realize that if they get caught up in it, and if they put themselves out there like that, they're only doing wrong to themselves, and they're doing damage to the thing that they love and they're passionate about. What do you guys think? Let's go back over to Jess. I noticed there's some comments.
Yes, RJ Murphy said he stopped publishing edited investigation material due to drama it created. If I'm going to publish a video of an investigation, I put it out there in its raw form. That way, whoever is watching any of my videos, they can draw from it what they want. This is a personal quest for me, and I'm only one I need to prove anything to. It's up to everyone else to decide what they believe or not.
I agree with that.
Right. Christy, I agree with Christy. Reverse psychology works well, in my opinion, with certain subjects. Justin knows who I'm talking about. But seriously, it does work. Or just simply not giving in to what the other person is wanting you to do. Majority wants you to attack back. So, I mean, they want you to attack back so they can use that against you most of the time.
Yep. That is right. That I'm glad she brought that up, because that is a part of what I wanted to talk about. But before we get into that, I'm going to switch back to screen here, Jess. Before we get back to that, RJ, I do the same thing. Not every time, because I'm a filmmaker. I want to put together pieces of art that is in documentary format. There's no fiction or fantasy involved with it, but it's taking the truth and the reality of our paranormal investigations and putting them together in an art form. Now, that is very touchy and very delicate. As you stated, people can interpret it in other ways other than just what it is in its raw form. So I have before just put up raw, unedited, peer review stuff on the channel, and I do that from time to time. Not so much like I used to. Maybe I'll get back into it, but people just look at it, and you don't look like you're trying to be famous or you're trying to be a popular TV star. Just people will look at it and like, okay, they were there. This is what happened. They're not trying to subtitle anything that came across or try to get you to believe anything, and that's a really good advice. I like that. And what Christy does is, if someone drives by and flips her off, she'll smile and wave at them. Okay? And what Jess was talking about, they want you to be mad. They want to get you upset, so you will compromise yourself. You will feel like they feel. They feel like crap. They want you to feel like crap, and it will start a cycle, of back and forth. And now they got you feeling like crap because they can't deal with, themselves feeling like that. And that is a huge part of what I want to talk about. That's the pathology of it. That's the reason why a lot of people start drama. They feel like crap. They want other people to feel like crap. It's simple. So that's another thing you definitely want to talk about. And it's it's so frustrating, guys. We're all doing the same stuff. We're trying to find out if there is a way to apply science or to get physical evidence to prove if it's paranormal with limited budgets and very, very little education and skill to do such, spectacular things. So we do have a lot against us. We're against ourselves, and we're working up against incredible odds. So with those two things in mind, please stop the drama. Please stop attacking people. Please stop letting people get to you when they attack you. It's common sense to know that okay, here's another possibility. Okay, say there's a popular person on social media or TV or in paranormal, and the person attacking them is not really, they don't think themselves as being a popular, but they attack the popular person to draw attention onto them, to get them to mention their name. Okay? And once they do that, now they're talking about that person, and they're drawing attention to them instead of you, and that's what they want. So consider that as a possibility and a reason behind why the drama started. So if you see something going on and you think that is the reason, just ignore them. Don't even mention that you saw a post or you got that email or got that message. Don't mention anything. Completely ignore it. If you know this person personally and you want to address it privately to them, do that too. But do not do it in a public forum. Do not do it on social media in a public way. Don't react to it to where other people can see you react. Your guys' transfer of information back and forth, because you're just going to play into their game. It's a game. Most of it's a game, folks. Most of it's a popularity game, a war against ego, a war against insecurity, and all the other negative things that fall in to why people cause drama. And, it's not just the women, folks. It's the guys. There is no, sex, in the formula here. I mean, it's across the board. You cannot blame it on, sexuality and the sex of people. You can't blame it on, anything but people's, shortcomings and their inability to recognize that what they're doing is not healthy for the parent field. Any other questions, Jess, that I haven't seen here recently?
Yeah, Miles says when he posts on the paranormal Facebook page, he doesn't mind the feedback. It does help. He doesn't put up with the BS. Bill Davis says, yeah, he has a problem ignoring it. LOL. RJ says
It's hard.
he is a black belt
In verbal judo. Uh-oh, I lost your audio.
Oh, nope, sorry.
Okay.
I think I accidentally hit it. I'm like, wait, what?
Verbal judo.
Okay, yeah. The ego needs to go by Miles. Christy says just do it like the old days. Meet and greet in center of town. Just joking.
Don't listen to don't listen to Christy.
She's on a roll.
Christy's trying to cause drama. All right. Well, we'll start wrapping this up. Thanks everybody for joining me again. I mean, it's touching, and I appreciate that you guys care about what I have to say about things. I am trying my best to come up with good topics and be constructive and be productive and give you guys content that you enjoy watching and interacting with. I love that you guys are commenting, interacting with the show. I want to make the community better. I want to strengthen it. I want to push it in the right direction. And if I don't, call me out on it, okay? I want to change anything that I do bad. I know I'm not perfect. I constantly try to learn. I constantly try to be better. So I appreciate all the support I get from you guys. You know, week after, I've tried to do this show every week, but I've been very busy. We are in full production mode, okay? What we have coming up Thursday is like the hugest thing that we have to date going on. We are going to be at Waverly Hills in Louisville, Kentucky on Thursday, filming another episode of Portals to the Past, and we're going to have Chris Houston and his film company, filming us filming. Okay, they are doing their own production and following and shadowing other paranormal researchers that are actually doing legitimate paranormal research, and they're doing their own documentary. So we're one of the teams that they're premiering on their documentary of Paranormal Truth and Reality. So I have all kinds of logistics that I'm dealing with, all kinds of planning. So if you guys want to follow us and, you know, all the production, all the investigations we're doing, go to interfacedeath.net, subscribe to the mailing list. That's the best way to do it. We have Facebook, we have YouTube, we have Twitter, we have all that. But the website is expensive, and we try very hard to make it look good and to keep you guys up to date and let you guys know everything there is to know about Interface Death. Real quick before we end, we're going to shout out our patrons. Matt Benton, Clay Borman, Matthew Jackson, RJ Murphy. Some of these people are in the chat interacting with us tonight. If you want to support what we do, if you want to put in a little bit of extra support, you can do that. I ask for $1 a month pledge on Patreon. If you want to support us, $1 a month to help with production costs, to help with all the expenses that are involved in the paranormal research we do with all these live shows and the production that we do. Go to patreon.com/support Interface Death. You can pledge $1 a month. There's higher tiers that you can do. You get rewards for pledging. For $1 a month, you get access to exclusive content. You get in our Facebook group, and you see stuff that nobody else sees. You can get t-shirts, DVDs. There's all kinds of cool stuff you can get rewarded on Patreon. So thank you again for you guys have been supporting us on Patreon. Without you guys, we wouldn't be continuing all the stuff that we're doing. So that means a lot to us. So support us on Patreon, get on board, follow us on social media, go to our website, subscribe to our mailing list. Just keep up to date with our monthly newsletters and what we got going on. Give us feedback on what you think about our paranormal research. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong and what we should be doing. If you like what we do, let us know. If you hate what we do, let us know. We want to know everything. Jess, thank you very much for helping me. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
I hope to see you on the next one. I did have a cancellation on Necromancer, but I'm trying to get another guest on the show, so I'll let you know when that happens. And if we have a show next week, I'll let you and Missy know what's going on, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end the show. I'm going to leave it there. You are my heart each and every week. Thank you very much. Stick around. Watch some video promotion. As always, stay spooky. We'll see you in the next one. Do legends tell us about the past? Are they meant to frighten us? Meant to take advantage of what we fear? Or do some hold some trace of truth? passed down. So
How long have you been associated with the school?
We got the school in March of 2017, so about 4 or 5 months.
Nice. So, you came to the school, what did you expect?
I mean, I had heard from reading about it that it was one of the most haunted places in the state of Ohio. And I was my skeptical mindset, I was kind of like, this is gonna be just an empty building, you know, we might get 1 or 2 things, I don't know. Come to find out, when we came here the first time to do our first investigation ever as a team, we got more activity here than we did at any other location that we've ever been to. And we've been to places like the Ohio State Reformatory, you know, big name places like that. So I was not expecting what we got.
Somebody up here named Kevin. We're gonna have to go down there. There's something down there, dude.
I was actually in the refrigeration room one night when they were doing an investigation, and whatever spirit was in there really got a hold of this guy and just drained his energy. And it was one of my first times really seeing this type of thing. And I had got to the point that it wasn't fun for me no more. I was actually scared.
Can you give us an audible sign that you're here? Can you speak? Can you make a noise?
Right there.
Totally, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Play that again.
Dude, that gives me chills.
Mr. Adams, if you are here in spirit, and if you're observing us right now, we come with the greatest amount of respect possible for you and your home and your family. As far as I'm concerned, we are your friends and we are sympathizers to everything that you've gone through. If you can give us some indication or sign of your presence while we're here tonight, I have to be honest, that would be both exciting and exhilarating. Above all, if there's anybody here that would like to linger on or look over the place, it would be George W. Adams.